Now, as the National Recycling Day approaches on September the 17th, it's a good moment to reflect on the changing picture of sustainability across industries. The international relocation sector is making tremendous progress in this area. And to unpack this further, I'm joined by the Managing Director of Crown Relocations. That's Ian Pettey. Good afternoon to you, and thanks so much for joining us. So just looking at sustainability, and I know this is part of the Millennium Goals from the United Nations and how we fare as a country when it comes to sustainability in this space. Speak to us, Ian.
Hi, thank you, Cindy. Nice to be here. I think in the relocations industry at the moment, we have really done lots in our sustainability sector to ensure that we start using, and we are using, biodegradable materials. In other words, that we are trying to help save the planet. We are trying to ensure that all the packing material that we use on relocations, the boxes can be recycled, and we also take all of our recycled boxes when we cannot use them again, and we put them into pulping to make toilet paper and wet wipes.
Okay, we'll get to how you multi-purpose, or maybe use the material. But is relocation the biggest source of waste material when it comes to preserving the planet, etc., and why is that the case?
Absolutely. We used to use polystyrene and bubble plastic in a big way in our industry, and we have totally eradicated using that now, because of the fact that they really pollute the planet, and that we're really looking at going green and ensuring that we totally use non-biodegradable products.
Yeah, and you've taken away a source of, what do you call it, I suppose resources or material that ordinary people like myself would go to a local grocer behind where there's usually the deliveries or dispatch, and you negotiate and you say, please may I have 10 boxes of a particular size because I'm moving house. That doesn't happen anymore. Now comes at an actual cost.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. We ensure, we make sure that all of the materials we use are non-virgin materials. In other words, we haven't cut down trees. All of our packing material suppliers use non-virgin materials that in other words, paper that's been recycled to help save the planet.
Yeah, but it's interesting how the value chain or the ecosystem in itself has got many layers. So it's not just your, let's say, box material manufacturers, but as you were saying, cling wrap or bubble wrap, and then there's also the bulk appliances, the removal companies that come with means and ways of creating or protecting your assets. So it's quite a thing.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And I think that if you just unpack it further and you look at what we're doing further than just packing material to save the environment, is that things like solar power, electric vehicles. I know we're waiting for the grid to get better in South Africa, but electric vehicles is certainly on our radar once the grid is stabilized.
Yeah. Okay, and so with relocation, are we talking interprovincially, or is it people just across the road, or just moving
Cindy,
cities
it's
as well?
interprovincially, but we specialize in international relocation, so people leaving the country or coming back to the country. So we're finding quite a balance. Okay, there are more people leaving, but for every 3 containers leaving the country, we would have at least 1 coming back. So, and reason why people that have left can't afford to haven't got the money and the resources to bring the furniture back that they took out. But I think the facts that we are the materials we're sending out, our companies overseas recycle. The materials we receive here, we reuse boxes and we recycle the boxes as well.
Yeah, so the concept of traveling light is a foreign concept, because as you're saying, people leave with their stuff and they still want to come back with it, even if it's quite costly.
Yeah, we find the new generation of people are less sentimental with their possessions, so they're not taking as much as they used to, which in other words, less packing, less size, so they have smaller shipments when they do leave the country.
Yeah, but is this a new technology, or has it been around? It's just now being refined.
Well, as far as the packing methods, we've refined packing methods to try and we know sustainability and the National Recycling Week's coming up soon, and we've changed a lot of the methods that we do, but as far as the volumes of shipments and the sizes have certainly come down. And I think it's people, money-wise, looking at what they can afford, and it's not cheap to move around the world, or even interprovincially. It's not.
Maybe you'll just talk us through the challenges as well when it comes to not only customs or the tariffs that you need to pay, any other hidden costs when it comes to relocation.
Well, certainly, you would take in our industry, you would take second-hand furniture, not so new furniture would involve paying duties and fees if you had to move new stuff. But second-hand furniture, but each country has regulations in place. So you would end up having to pay duties on certain items for different countries you go in. So you'd need to look very carefully at the laws of the country you're moving to. We would help the clients do that anyway.
So it's not a standard approach, for instance, if certain practices are allowed or permitted in one country, it's not replicated in another country. No,
definitely not. Just for example, Australia are extremely pedantic about, anything that's touched the ground here or soil needs to be steam cleaned, so you don't have any soil or something that could take diseases into Australia. So they're very customs. They're extremely pedantic to ensure that we don't do that.
So as we say goodbye to you, just some tips or advice for people who are relocating for whatever reason, and where do they necessarily have to start? Considering the costs and what items are essential for them to.
I would say my biggest tip is if you're going to move to interprovincially or to another country, make sure you take stuff that's going to help your children to feel they've at least got some things that they prize and that they can help them settle down in their new environment. So really a big thing is plan well, make sure that your kids particularly, and your spouse, are happy with and know what they letting themselves in for. And also when your container arrives at the other end, you can see there's my teddies, there's my bed, there's my whatever that you love, and that helps you settle down in that area.
Yeah, but you don't do the emotional stuff of getting into a new country. You just do the movable assets. So whatever other challenges you may have psychologically in adapting to the new environment, there are different services for that.
No, exactly. And I think that's where clients do need to make sure, people leaving the country need to make sure they've done their homework, because there are a lot of failed relocations that happen with people getting to the other side saying, I didn't expect this, and I really miss South Africa. I miss what I really, what I think was bad is not so bad anymore, because the grass is not green on
exactly. With expats and friends abroad, they always say that they miss having an auntie, an OC who can come and do your laundry and things like that.
Absolutely.
Because everywhere else in the world, you're going to have to clean that stuff up yourself.
Absolutely, Cindy.
Yeah, because of the cost. So. Ian, we're going to leave it there.
Thank you.
Really lovely having you in studio. We're speaking to the Managing Director of Crown Relocations, Pettey, talking about the advantages these days, especially of having sustainable alternative moving materials that are eco-friendly as we preserve the planet.